I'm Cage Warriors lightweight champion George Hardwick, and today we'll be looking at a fantastic one-punch knockout in boxing. On the far side there, in the white shorts, we've got Kevin Rooney, who's one of Mike Tyson's trainers throughout his career. Closer to the camera in the dark shorts, that's Nicaraguan boxing legend Alexis Arguello, also known as El Flaco Explosivo. So we've got this dynamic between the taller, rangier fighter in Alexis Arguello and the shorter, more compact fighter in Kevin Rooney, who uses that typical peekaboo style, using the jab, then moving the head, and then looking to get inside with hooks. So we're looking at Arguello using his long weapons, his jab, and his check hook to keep Kevin Rooney at bay. Kevin Rooney lands a decent cross counter there, early going, and Alexis Arguello, if he gets too close, he'll roll and pivot off. There's a little check hook, and he's using this jab here as well. That's a really good strategy from Alexis Arguello, and any tall fighter can use this. If you jab or you check hook, long hook, and it doesn't land clean and the other guy's moving the head to get inside, you don't have to bring your hand back immediately. You can push at the temple, you can push at the forehead, you can push at the shoulder, you can push them off balance to just keep them away. Another thing that we see Alexis Arguello using quite well, and he just used it a few moments ago, so there he's using the frame again, is hitting the body on the guy coming in. Jack Slack was on about this on a recent podcast. You got someone coming in and trying to pressure you, everyone tries to hit them in the head, get that one-punch knockout to keep them off. A good idea can be to hit them in the body. One, it does a bit more physical pain, it can wind them. But also, if you've got someone moving the head side to side on their way in, hit that body. The body's not moving the same as the head. That was a beautiful combination from Alexis Arguello. Lead uppercut into left hook. He kind of gets caught slightly by the right hand as he's pivoting out. Again, he's using that long left hand. If the lead hook or the jab doesn't land quite as clean, he doesn't have to bring it back straight away. He can push it back. Hooking off the jab. Brilliant work, and just generally keeping his elbows tight. Another thing we saw there is the tempo change. So not all these jabs are trying to blitz the guy as fast and as hard as possible. Some jabs are quite slow. Some right straights are quite slow. Some might start slow and end quick. Some might just be quick. There's a lot of tempo changes, and it makes it a lot harder to enter in on him. Because if everything's the same speed, it's a bit more predictable. It's like that old Michael Jai White Kimbo Slice clip, but obviously this is on a much higher level. We're seeing Alexis Arguello use some longer combinations now, settled in very early. There he goes for a check hook and uses that elbow just to stop Kevin Rooney keeping his balance and being able to counter and work on the inside. But he manages to get that body hook inside, just Kevin Rooney. Back to the jab as Arguello, long, and a right uppercut to the body. Again, another tool that's really good against the shorter fighter coming in. Doesn't always have to be headhunting. You can hit that quick hook to the body. Combos extend again and open up. And that uppercut to the body, especially if you're a taller fighter, it's going to have more penetration. It's going to come up through the solar plex a bit more than a shorter fighter doing it. There's a left hook to finish the end of the round. So we've seen Arguello tempo changing. We've seen him jabbing and framing. We've seen him use the body hook as Kevin Rooney comes forward. Kevin Rooney still did some good work. He still managed to dip his head, get the right hand over as Alexis Arguello pivoted sometimes. He also managed to use that lead hand to close the door well sometimes, whether it was a body hook or that lead straight shot. This is a really underused shot in MMA where it comes, the body moves like it's a hook. It's used in combination like it's a hook, but instead of the arm coming up and around, leaving you a little bit open and where it can miss against a tall fighter, it just comes up through the middle. Probably won't have that same knockout sting that a hook catching across the tip of the jaw will, but it's a really, really good way to close the door. If you want some MMA examples of this, Ross Pearson is brilliant for the inside slip into lead straight or lead hook. He's just a really good study on the inside slip in MMA as Ross Pearson. Anyway, we get into round 2, and Alexis Arguello's got his timing, so he comes out a bit quicker. Watch how he keeps his balance really beautifully in these long punching exchanges. Even on the inside, the taller man working well on the inside by picking the correct weapons, using frames like he's using there, that inside elbow frame, outside, if it's a hand off of a jab, hitting the body and then coming up to a frame. It's really smart. There he's just tapping away with jabs, and then he can change speed like that. There he's tapping away with jabs and hooks and came up with a left uppercut into right cross. A beautiful combination for any tall fighter, obviously. The uppercut, you can throw it quite long, and it lifts their head into the target. This is where Alexis Arguello starts to get more damage off. More shots in combination. He hit a body hook there and then 2 to the head. Not everything the same speed. That right uppercut to the body was a classic throughout his career. And look how that right straight sometimes just it almost comes from the fist first and then the body follows into it. Rather than stopping, telegraphing it, trying to throw everything into it, the fist moves first and then the body turns into it as it's coming out. A lot of tempo changes. If you want a lot of similar stuff like this, watch Alexis Arguello's prodigy, one of the greats, Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito. A lot of the same combinations, but even faster because he's a lower weight class. There, that tempo change 1-2, taps the jab, taps the jab, taps the jab, and quickly tempo changes. Working on the inside as well, because he's using the right weapons. Uppercuts and hooks to the body, looping that hook around the elbow, uppercuts to the head, and frames if he needs to. He's not just going glove to glove. He's using his frames with his forearms and moving off, pivoting as well. Kevin Rooney's still getting the odd jab, odd right hand here and there, but it's getting less and less successful for him as the fight goes on. Inside slip from Arguello, hitting the jab through the middle of Kevin Rooney's right hand, and it's just getting better and better for Alexis Arguello. Here, Kevin Rooney's trying to look the inside slip into left hook even, but it's tricky because there's no setup and he's not timed it for when Arguello's being thrown, because Arguello's not just opening up predictably. It makes it very hard to move forward countering a guy if their tempo's always changing, they're getting the angle with this outside pivot, they're framing you off when you do feel comfortable to fire back, so you're getting knocked off balance and you don't have that secure shot. There, that right uppercut to the body, beautiful shot. And here, another uppercut to the body. If you've got someone and they're moving the head, moving in, it might be a hard target to hit the head a lot of the time. But if you hit that body, they'll be thinking about the body. Then they'll stay a bit more still. Just tapping away with the jab at a slower speed, and then changing the tempo. Also with that left hand, look at the dexterity. He's hitting jabs, left hooks to the head, left uppercuts through the middle, and body shots. And there's the knockout shot. That was a really good example of a tempo change. Taps the jab, and then goes 1-2 on the second. We'll have another little look at this. One more look at this before the video ends. Here. Inside slips, outside slips, taps, and then the right hand comes in quicker. The jab just taps. Kevin Rooney reactionally pops his jab out, and then it's the right straight hits him. We'll look at this one more time because it's kind of 3 perfect defenses to a jab even. 3 perfect defenses to Kevin Rooney's left jab. We'll put this back just a little bit. So, as the slow-mo starts in just a little bit, we're going to see 3 perfect defenses. And Alexis Arguello, true gent, always the first person to check. Inside slip, outside slip, and then a right straight over the top. Very rarely will you ever see a performance like that. Incredible performance. Watch more Alexis Arguello, and if you like Alexis Arguello stuff, watch a load of Roman Gonzalez fights.